Hello everyone and welcome back to another custom spotlight. I guess we're doing a custom spotlight. I don't particularly know what custom we're looking at though. Because the only things on the set table right now are Sonic and Tails and Knuckles. But we've already looked at all of them. I don't really know what else there is to show at the moment. I guess I could look at one of the spare TV series customs that I've worked on. I don't know, I already did a short for Duck, and I did Mavis. Haven't finished a couple other Sonic Steam Engine models yet, but I don't really know what we're gonna... Wait, what? Hey, who turned out the lights? Okay, I don't know who turned out these lights, but it's not funny. Hold on, let me hit my flashlight. Oh, dear gosh. I bet that's what you're thinking right now. Now, I'm sure you're looking at your screen and you're thinking, what the heck is this? I'll tell you what this is. This is Sonic the Werehog. So, for those of you who don't know what Sonic the Werehog is, he's basically Sonic in his werewolf phase. There was a game released back in 2009, and in that game was called Sonic Unleashed. In that game, Sonic absorbs the energy of a powerful monster called Dark Gaia, and basically becomes... he turns into a werewolf every night. His physical body changes drastically, and he basically becomes... he's supposed to become more feral, but thanks to his general goodwill and spirit, he can't be corrupted by Dark Gaia's energy, so he just uses the power to fight his spawn. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, how does that work for Sonic the Steam Engine? Well, I'm not really sure, but considering that it is a canon form of Sonic's, I always knew I had to make him. So, let's start with his details. So, he basically has... he's basically normal Sonic. Hold on, if I'm to pull him up, you could probably see a few notable differences just by comparing the two designs. But basically, he's this Sonic, but I basically made him look more wild. I made his design a lot more unkept. Like this Sonic doesn't take care of himself. He looks very crazy. Even though he's still a good guy, he is generally very crazy. So, basically, what I did is I took a Trackmaster 2 Thomas and painted it in a darker blue. I think normal Sonic is just a regular blue, whereas this Sonic is... Werehog Sonic is a more navy blue. Yeah, he's more of a navy blue. His running board is blue, the side of it. I wanted to make it look like Sonic's regular colors were sort of distorted due to the overall more feral, wild design of the Werehog. I guess Were Engine in this case. He has more feral-looking teeth. It's hard to get the Werehog what exactly the Werehog's expression is. So I went with this sort of angry look because that's really the only time you can really tell what his emotion is. If you look at his buffers, you can tell I sort of tried to do something a bit different with them. So what I ended up doing is I took Sonic's silver buffers over here, and I wanted to make them look a bit more wild. So I did something that I thought about doing with regular Sonic, but just didn't, is I gave him little golden rings around his buffers. Like the outer side of the buffer is a ring, and the inside of the buffer is the white of his regular hands. So he basically has ring buffers. I thought about doing that for Sonic, but I ultimately thought it just didn't look good. So I did it on the Werehog because he's supposed to look more wild. Speaking of gold details, he also has gold on his wheel arch, and his cab windows are pure gold. As for his 91, I made it completely jet black, and I also gave it the little Sonic spikes on the back of it. Can be hard to tell that those are Sonic spikes at times, but that's basically what it is. He does still have backlining, but it's a little bit wonky because of the overall nature of the Werehog. His lining is also sort of messed up there. That was like a mistake, but I think the Werehog looking a bit messy does kind of make sense because, again, he's the Werehog. Like, even if you look at the disheveled paint on the smoke box there, you could tell it's like not perfectly straight because nothing on the Werehog is supposed to be perfectly straight. It's supposed to look furry and hairy and unkept. Like this Sonic, he hits the gym. He's more buff, but ultimately, it's hard to translate the Werehog design into an engine. I thought about making him a AEG motorized Thomas, so he'd look bigger and burlier, but in actuality, not still be Sonic. But I don't know. I thought that wouldn't really look good. Also, I want this thing to still somewhat be able to run on the layout. Like, he himself doesn't run unless you put the four-wheeled chassis in him, which is currently being used for Tails. But he can be pushed along. Speaking of push-alongs, you may see in the background there, this is Chip, Sonic's little companion in the game. Because apparently, Tails, being the cute kid, no, he's not cute enough to go on the adventure with Sonic. So, this is Chip. I think he's supposed to be like a pixie in the game. Ultimately, when I did Werehog, I immediately realized I had to do some type of Chip. Originally, I envisioned him as a rail speeder, like a Sandy, but ultimately I realized he basically fills Percy's role, so I made him out of a push-along Percy. I imagine he's like a small contractor engine of some type. he... I don't really know what railway work this engine would be doing anyway. And considering that he's supposed to be the light part of the light of Dark Gaia, considering he's supposed to be the light of Dark Gaia, I figured it wasn't really necessary to actually consider what a basis for him would be. So I made him out of a push-hole and Percy I just had laying around. Just like Chip, majority of him is red, but he also has white and green accents, just like Chip in the game. His cab roof is white. And his wheels are white with green accents. Because Chip has a sort of green aura around him once he remembers everything about himself. Because Chip is very interesting in the game. He's basically a character, like the light part of Dark Gaia, but Eggman used a giant a giant death machine to blow up the planet and release Dark Gaia and Chip earlier than expected. And because of that, Dark Gaia wasn't whole, and Chip lost his memory. So when Sonic landed near him as the Werehog, he just naturally assumed that he had landed on him and knocked the memory out of him. Then they kind of like pair up buddy. They go off together to basically restore the planet, put it all back together, restore the Chaos Emeralds, which were drained of their power. Then they fight Eggman. Chip regains his memory through one of the temples that they go to restore the Chaos Emeralds. The planet starts reforming. Then you run through the god-awful Eggman Land stage, and then you fight the perfect form of Dark Gaia, but then he takes back the Werehog powers from Sonic, and he basically becomes normal Sonic again, which allows him to go super. And then they fight and save the planet. Hooray! And then Chip dies and gets sealed back within the planet. Whoop-de-doo, I guess. I don't really care about Sonic Unleashed, and I'm probably going to get some backlash for saying this, but I think Sonic Unleashed might actually be the worst Sonic game ever. Like, I know a lot of people will say, what about Sonic 06? It's so much worse. No, Sonic's story is so much worse. I think Sonic Unleashed is just an overall less fun game. Because once you've played the first few day stages, they become unbearable once you upgrade Sonic's stats fully, which any kid would want to do. And Werehog stages get monotonous so quickly. And then after a while, they both just make you want to lose all your rings and die in real life. Then the final section is just ludicrous, and it makes you want to die. So, also there's stupid tokens that I hated having to go and collect. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever do a Sonic Unleashed adaptation, but if I do, I'm totally doing it differently. That game could have been so much, but it was so little. So, I don't really know what else I can really say about the Werehog and Chip. Um, I guess it's nice to have these two on the off chance I decided to do something with Sonic Unleashed, but ultimately it's not something I ever want to revisit for any reason ever. I don't even know if I want to ever play that game on the channel. So yeah, I think that's basically it for the custom spotlight. I don't really have much to say about these, honestly. It's like, it's basically just darker blue Sonic, and red Percy. That's basically it. This is still a nice custom. I enjoyed making it. Um, so, yeah. Um, who knows? Maybe, hopefully, it will turn back to day in a few seconds, and we'll get the regular Sonic back. Oh, hey, what happened? My light went out. Ugh, my phone light went out. Oh, well, ain't that handy? Everyone's back now. So yeah, I guess that was a custom spotlight on Sonic the Werehog. Now he's back to being regular, so hopefully I'll see you all next time with a way past cool custom. I think I know what the next one will be. I think we're going to go pretty obscure with the next one, because that's one thing I like doing. I like doing random obscure characters. I think next time we're going to take a trip to the world of Sonic X. So, on the off chance you haven't seen that show, maybe tune in next time. I'll give a little bit of a history lesson for the model that we're going to be looking at. But, yeah, I think that's basically it. So, thanks for watching. See y'all next week for another custom spotlight. Yeah, latest.